start to... All right, show me the money, part 1. On this, the table shows Jill and Jim's earnings, and you can see there's a table for Jill and a table for Jim. And I've previously graphed this because I didn't want to take the time to graph it in the video. And you can see Jill's line here goes through 218, 436. These are just the points in the table. And Jim's as well through 321. 21's halfway between 18 and 24. 642, etc. So we've graphed the relation displayed in the tables, the relations. Who is earning money faster, and how can you tell from the graph? Okay, who is earning money faster, and how can you tell from the graph? Back here. So Jill is earning money faster, and why? It's going up faster? Okay, so you were saying Jill because the line is going up faster. Okay, that is correct. Jill is earning money faster because the line is steeper. Okay, steeper lines mean that it's going to be a faster unit rate. So since Jill has a steeper line than Jim, Jill is earning a higher unit rate for money. You know, she's earning her money faster. Jim would end up earning more if Jim works long enough, but as far as per hour, Jill is making more per hour. Okay, the next says calculate the slope of each line. How can you tell from the slope who is earning money faster? All right, now slope, we're going to have to draw a triangle to find slope. So back up here, I'm going to draw this triangle in. Go ahead and call this out. What is the rise here? How much up does it have?
3.
It's not 3. They're counting by 6.
18.
It is up 18. So this is 18 up. And how much over does it have? Go ahead and call it out. 2. Okay. So it goes up 18 over 2. So the slope there is, for Jill, is 18 over 2, 9. So Jill's slope is 9. Now let's work on Jim's slope. Okay, for Jim, we're going to have to draw a triangle on Jim's line. I'm going to choose between this point here and this point since they're on lattice points on the graph, instead of being halfway between like these are. And so right here, how much up does this have? How much over does it have? How much up are we seeing here? Remember, each box is 6 units.
Do you want this shot?
Over here.
42?
It is going up 42 because it's 7 boxes, each one 6 units. How far over is it going? Again?
6.
It is going 6 units over. So we've got up 42, we've got a right of 6. So remember that slope is the ratio of how far up it goes compared to how far to the right it goes, also known as rise over run. 42 over 6 is 7. Okay, so we get Jill's line has a slope of 9. Jim's line has a slope of 7. How can you tell from the slope who's earning more money? Okay, we already decided it was Jill, but based on these slope numbers, how can we tell who's earning more money? Back here. 9 is greater than 7, so Jill earns money faster. Okay. Yeah, that's a good reason. Because slope is a measure of how steep a line is, how quickly it's rising, a bigger slope number is for a steeper line. It does mean that Jill is making more money per hour. Okay, that's good. Part D says calculate the unit rate for both sets of data. So for Jill's set and for Jim's set, how do these unit rates compare to the slopes? Okay, so we've got Jill and we've got Jim. Okay, to do Jill's unit rate, let's look here at the table. How do we get from 2 hours to 18 hours? How do we get from 4 hours to 36? What is the unit rate? How many dollars per hour?
9.
Okay, 9. How did you get 9?
I did 18 divide 2.
Okay,
36 divide 4.
Okay. So 18 divide 2 or 36 divide 4, that's just the numbers here in the table. And since it is a unit rate, we do need to put units on it. So that's 9. What are the units here?
$9 per hour.
It is $9 per hour. Okay. $9 per hour is the unit rate for Jill. What about for Jim? What would be Jim's unit rate? Back here?
Jim's unit rate would be $7 in 1 hour.
Okay.
I decided to use $21 in 3 hours, and I divided each by 3.
Okay. So you took $21 in 3 hours and used that to get $7 per hour. Okay, good. So the unit rate for Jill is $9 per hour. The unit rate for Jim is $7 per hour. And these are, of course, we're able to calculate these from the table. So Jill's was 21 over 3. So that's $7 per hour. You could have done 42 over 6, and that's also 7. You can only actually calculate it that way if it's a proportional relationship. Some 8th graders make a mistake with that by assuming they're proportional when they are not on the problems they do. And that ends up leading to some easy missed problems. Okay, so how do these unit rates relate to slope? We've got the unit rate of 9 per hour and the unit rate of $7 per hour, and our slopes were 9 and 7. What's the relationship here? Go ahead. They're the same number. Okay. The unit rate does have units with it, but if we look at just the number part, 9 and 9, 7 and 7, it looks like the slope number is the same as the unit rate number. Okay, that is something we should notice there. The slope number is the same as the unit rate number. Okay, last we're going to write the equations for Jill and Jim that relate y to x. How do these equations relate to slope? Now remind you kind of what we did with the equation on Show Me the Money, the first worksheet we did. We want to know how you get from x to y. So back up here real quick. How do I get from 2 to 18? And I can do the same thing to get from 4 to 36. Exact same thing to get from 6 to 54, etc. For Jill, how do I do it? How do I get from 2 to 18? Right here?
You can either divide.
18 divided 2 is 9.
And you can times 9 by 2 to 52.
Okay. All right. So this student just explained that we could do 9 times 2 to get 18. We can do 9 times 4 to get 36. 9 times 6 to get 54. 9 times 8 will give us 72. 9 times whatever this x is will give us the y. And that's actually the idea here. So the equation relating x and y for Jill is y equals 9x. This says to take x and multiply it by 9 to get y, and that's exactly what we do if we look at the table. So for Jill, y equals 9x. What is the equation for Jim? How do we get from 3 to 21? Do the same thing to get from 6 to 42. Get from 9 to 33. Get from 12 to 84.
Y equals 7x.
Okay, y equals 7x. That means take x, multiply it by 7, and give you a y. 3 times 7 is 21. That worked. 6 times 7 is 42, that worked again. 9 times 7 is 63, and 12 times 7 is 84. So y equals 7x. So our equation for Jill and Jim, Jill is 9 equals 7x, Jill is not at y equals 9x, Jim, y equals 7x. How do these equations relate to the slopes? Okay, remember the slopes here were 9 and 7. How do the equations y equals 9x and y equals 7x relate to the numbers 9 and 7? Okay, the slope numbers are the same as what? The equation? Not the whole equation, just part of it, right? Yeah, the slope number is in the equation. The slope number it's multiplied by x, right? The slope number is multiplied by x to get y, but yeah, the slope number ends up being multiplied by x here. So we're seeing these numbers come up a lot. What we've seen on this is that the unit rate, the slope, and the number inside that equation are all very closely related. The unit rate, of course, has units. The slope is just a number that tells how steep the line is. The equation, the number in front of x, is that same number. Okay, we're going to be looking at part 2 here. What you'll want, I'll give you some time to work on this, but here you are starting with equations, and then you're going to work your way through answering all these questions just based on the equations and what we learned from this side. The equation y equals 10x describes the money in dollars y earned by John for working x hours. The equation y equals 8x describes the money in dollars y earned by Julie for working x hours. You're going to find the slope, which one's steeper. By the way, you don't even have the graph and you're going to find the slope based on what you learned from the other side. You're looking for the hourly rate. Finally, you're going to graph the equation and then find the slope from there and check to see if it was the same as what you found here. So we'll work on that for a few minutes and then we'll do part B.